Well, we are live. We are on. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I hope you all are all doing great. And welcome to another edition of iTalks number 9. Today, I'm always by the company of our beautiful Natalie. Today, she is here with me at High Interactive office. We also have André with us and our special guest. We have Jorge Vieira with us. He is the technology director of Efacec, and today we are talking about the user experience journey in a traditional industry like the railway industry. We have Jorge Vieira here with us to tell us all about it. We are excited to have this amazing conversation with him. And yeah, for the ones at home, it's not enough to ask you for a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have plenty more content like this prepared for you, and we want you to know all about it. So stay tuned for at our social media, at our YouTube channel, and by subscribing to our YouTube channel, you are getting all of that. So and yeah, in the meantime, before I pass the ball to Natalie and Andre, and also to George, if you have any type of question during this conversation that we are going to have here, feel free to drop us a comment on the chat box on this on the chat box of this video. We are more than happy to answer all of your questions at the end of the show. So, hi, André. Hi, Natalie. And hi, George. How are you all doing?
Hi.
I'm okay. Hi, João. Hi, George. Thanks.
Hi. Also, yeah.
Okay, so let's start.
Okay, so hello everyone. Once again, George, thank you very much for being here today with us. As João already said, George is a seasoned engineer from Efacec, a leader in railway technology, and George will share his first-hand experience of introducing UX methodologies into this long-established industry. So, what we are hoping to explore here today in this conversation is the challenges and the triumph of bringing UX into a traditional company, and how UX design is transforming the railway command center app, making it a more intuitive and user-friendly experience for a critical railway. Personally, sorry, this is a very difficult word.
Railway.
And we will talk about the impact and the future possibilities of the UX design in the ever-evolving railway landscape. And, well, be prepared to be surprised by the power of the UX design into how we can reimagine an even the most established industry. So let's start. George, thanks again for being here with us today. I would like to start by, introducing the UX into the transport mobility. Tell us about a little bit how did the idea of incorporating a user experience UX methodologies come about at your company, in a traditional company in the railway industry? How did this happen?
So thank you, Natalie. First of all, I wanted to thank for this invitation to be here. And just to make a small correction, I'm responsible here from the technical part, but related with transportation business in Efacec. Okay, so concerning your question, Natalie, so we are, just to explain, we here are mainly used to work with light rail, metro, and rail operators and infrastructure owners. So those are our usual customers, and we supply to them the electromechanical components and systems that they need. So this is the environment. And so this type of customers, although there are some differences between them, they are more focused on, let's say, on proven systems. They are not very they are very conservative, so they are not willing to be, let's say, the beta testers of everything. Okay. Usually, we are speaking of closed networks with very few or even no doors to the outside world. So where the systems run in safety, where cybersecurity is a very important issue nowadays. So that's why this move to more, let's say, web-based solutions, it's more slow. Okay. So, but really, things must move and change, and also our customers are slowly changing. Particularly when we are speaking of more bus systems or bus rapid systems, but also light rail is moving a little on this direction, and they are demanding new solutions. In Efacec, we had an opportunity. We received a trigger, let's say, to move a little faster. We have a customer project that has this demand to go in this direction. So when we decided to go for it, when we decided to accept this task, this project, we were forced to do it. And so, we had already this idea in our product roadmap, but we were pushing a little on the concerning time, this trigger, and we must do it. So,
And George, tell me, well, you open a little bit the story about how this project starts in your company. From your experience and, well, how is the project going? What do you think are some of the initial challenges that you and your teams faced on introducing UX practices into your company? What do you think were more difficult, and for the other hand, what was easy and beneficial for your teams?
So, as I said, we were not used to it. Okay, and so one of the things, one of the challenges was we needed support. We needed external support because we had no, let's say, sufficient knowledge in-house, be on the design aspect, be on the technology aspect. Okay, so this external support was needed. Also for the methodologies that we have used in the project. Also, our, let's say, if some of my engineers are hearing this interview, they maybe don't like what I will be saying, but also the mindset has to be a little adapted because we are working for lots of years with a specific mindset. Every change has some costs. Okay? Had to be also changed. We needed also the administration to be with us because, as I said, there was some need of external support, some need of technology adaptation. This is equivalent to cost to do it. And so we needed also the administration support for it. Okay, so those I think were some challenges. Of course, there is another one that is we are not doing what we usually do, so we are a little away of our, let's say, comfort point, as we say in Portuguese usually. Okay.
And how, well, from knowing that you have a team that are really used to work in a specific way, what was your approach to gaining buy-in and support for UX within your organizations?
Okay. It is not easy, very honestly. We have to
process, right?
Yes, there is some issues here. First, we had some support, this trigger that I mentioned. So when you have a project that will, let's say, give us some financial support also, this is good. In another aspect, when we have a customer project we have milestones, we have timeline that we have to fulfill. So this is not the ideal when we have lots of things to change. Okay, so here we have, let's say, lots of difficulties that we have to face. Also, we have to have the customer close to us, okay? Because we will face some difficulties during the project, this is certain. And so it was good to try to have the customer nearby, to talk with the customer, to show to the customer what we are developing, the stage we are, the benefits that we already have achieved. Also, the feedback from the customer is helpful. For us also to keep our administration supporting us, because it is important to have both supports from our administration to face the possible difficulties that we have during the projects, and in this case specific that we have an end customer to use the product that we are developing, also to have in the, let's say, as a partner on this development. Okay, I would say like that. So this is, let's say, a play that we have to do. Okay.
Now, moving on to the topic more related to the UX for your railway command center. I think we can say that we started to work with you, and our first approach was a design week to approach the problem, to understand what the work that we need to be done, how can we start, how can we separate and prioritize by pieces to solve each part of this big application or platform that you need to use to control the railways. In your opinion, how did this work, and how did this help your company to move forward to solve the problem or solve an issue that is, well, create a platform to command all the railways that you need, and to give a more competitive solution for your clients?
Mm-hmm. So, yes, it's true. We began together with you designing, let's say, the user interface. It's a significant amount of work. I think, fortunately, we have, I would say, a significant experience in-house with the needs of the users, of these specific types of users that I mentioned before. We are working on those type of projects, I would say, for more than 25 years, beginning with, let's say, with bus fleets, and then moving to light rail fleets, to metros, to the railway. So, let's say, the engineers in my team, they work close together with the customers. Our projects are of usually several years duration, okay, from the design phase until the commissioning phase. During all this time, or during a significant part of this time, the engineers are at the customer's office, are living together with the customers, are feeling their pains, their problems, their difficulties, are seeing how they work, and we face many different forms of managing, of operating the trams. So we had this experience, and this was important to try to give to you all the, let's say, the base information for the design. I think this is important. Otherwise, we would need to have the customers more close on this project, and it will not be easy. We have customers on several countries. Just talking a little about our experience, we work in Portugal, of course, in Ireland, in Norway, Denmark, Spain, Algeria, Brazil. So we have systems in different places where people have different mentalities, different ways to approach the problem, different types of operators. So we try to merge all this information, try to do, let's say, to increase, to update the products that we have together with this. Okay. Additionally, besides these projects, we have also maintenance projects where we are involved directly with the customers. For instance, in Ireland, we are together with the customer for several years doing the maintenance of the system. So this gives us all this knowledge of what is their need and how they usually try to solve their problems. Okay, so I think this helped us very much on the way, and as I explained before, we needed external help, and you were very useful on the, let's say, on trying to bring this user experience from the engineering point of view to a user experience from the designer point of view and from the interface point of view. Okay.
And actually, it was a teamwork. We could not work alone. We always need to, well, for this project to be successful, as you are saying, every day we need to work with the knowledge and with the experience from your team so that we could deliver something that would make sense, that would really solve the issues and would be relevant for the teams and operators that are going to use those apps in the future.
And you noticed during all this work, certainly, I have noticed, and certainly you also, that you received also different points of view. If you were working with an engineer that was usually in front of the customer, or if you were talking with a software developer that was usually on his desk doing the job. So the views were a little different. So this merge was interesting.
And it was really important to absorb the knowledge of everyone. And we are talking about a traditional company, but I want to share that everyone that worked with us was really open-minded, and everyone was really eager to reach a good solution at the end. And I think because everyone was part of the solution, it was at the beginning a big step to a success at the end.
Yes, Natalie, this is true. The work that we had in front of us were very significant. I prefer this word because it's more subjective. And it could almost only be done if we have the team all going in the same direction with the same motivation. This is something that we had to work internally also, because otherwise it's like a boat. We have to go in the same direction. Otherwise, we don't reach the end port.
Yeah. And George, from your experience, can you share an example of how a UX design principle improved the railway company center app's usability? Do you have anything that comes to your mind?
Natalie, I think at least what I understand from user experience, that means, in my opinion, it's not only the appearance. We are talking about the efficiency, the usability, the help from the interface to reach in a fast way the target functionalities of the customer, I think this is possible in all the functionalities of the control center. But just to be brief, not to be boring, one of the things that we are doing is integration, because when we are talking about a control center, we are talking of lots of, let's say, functionalities, let's call it like that, signaling, AVLS, vehicle location, public information, so lots of different types of functionalities. And SCADA systems, all that, integrating all these systems together in, let's say, for instance, in a single synoptic, or putting it more close, let's say, more easy to find to the user, so that the user, the operator, receives the information when he needs it and doesn't need to be, let's say, searching where is the information when I need it. Okay, I think this is, let's say, something that we can improve in nearly all the applications of a control center that have, let's say, a user interface. But one example I would say would be this integration of all these, for instance, the synoptics, signaling, AVLS, SCADA, trying to integrate it in a single one is one example that can help.
Okay, thanks, George. And about the impact and learnings from your experience again, did the implemented UX methodology, do you think that they are going to have a broader impact on your company, or in a way you approach a product development from now on? How do you think would be that the project, now that you have that experience regarding orienting a product to a more user-centered orientation?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. We will be always developing the products also according to the demands of our customers. I think user-centered is something that we have to follow more and more, because the products, the systems, needs to help the user, not the developer, not the end user. It's to help the end user. So from this point of view, yes, I think that is something that we will certainly change the way, or help to change the way in the updates that we have to do to our products. Also, I would say that the team is more motivated if she is doing something according to new technologies and according to the products that are useful, real useful for the end user. And in this aspect, I think that it is very important that we keep our teams motivated and not always, let's say, developing the same way, the same traditional way, because it gets boring. And I would say the new generation of developers doesn't like to develop always the same, okay? And we have also to adapt. Otherwise, we don't have people to do the work, okay? This is also something that we have to take into consideration. So yes, I think it will be more user-centered, that we will try to do it. Of course, we have to be very careful also, because when we are speaking of user-centered, we can easily have a problem, that is to develop the product that we are developing for this specific user. And this is something that we are trying also not to do. We are trying to do products that are more general oriented that can be used in several users, because this is also what we need to do, what our administration wants us to do. In the opposite, we try to be a little user-centered, so that we have to be very careful when we adapt to the user. We have to have the feedback from several users. We have to make some filtering, and to
Yes,
make
prioritize, right?
yes, and to make the user-centered in a global way and not the user-centered in a specific way. Okay.
Yes. And probably make your product give the ability to be personalized for specific teams in a specific time, to be adaptive to different needs for different users. Well, doing that part, right?
Of course, we are not selling, as I usually call it. We don't sell boxes. We don't sell, let's say, a package that can be set up and let's use it. It's not like that. So we have, of course, a common, let's say, a framework, but
Yeah.
then it must be adapted to the needs of the users. This, of course. Only what I mean is that this adaptation cannot be 80% of the work. This adaptation must be 10 or 20% of the work. The others must be the framework, okay?
Yes. And since we start this project, your company start this project, and now looking behind, what advice would you give to other companies in a traditional industry considering adopting UX practices? What would be your main advices?
So, you mentioned several times traditional industry. The word traditional is a little, let's say, confusing to me, because
Oh, I'm sorry.
no.
Another word.
I think yes, we are a company that exists for a long time. Yes, and in this aspect, we can call it a traditional company. We have
That's term. The
we
term
have
you are
customers that are not, let's say, they don't like to be the beta testers, as I told it. But in the reality, we try, depending on our needs, of course, to do development using new technologies and whatever is needed. Okay. But related with your question, yes, I think easily it is a trend that we cannot forget. So it is there. So this trend to be more and more user centric, as I said, and also thinking of what we deliver to our customers. If you think of a control center, it has of course the aspect of the user that is the operator, but it has also an indirect user that has all the customers of the metro, all the customers that receive public information, public announcements, and things like that. So we also need to take into consideration this aspect, to be more, let's say, more flexible, more user oriented. So I think it's natural. It's something that is there and is there to stay. Also, we talk very much today of artificial intelligence, and I think artificial intelligence here can be a complement to the user experience, okay? Because it will help to make the systems more and more useful to the user, learning with the user. So I think this can be also an interesting complement to user experience, and it's there also with all the problems, with all the benefits, but it's there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess you read my mind, because my next question would be exactly about that. What could be the future possibilities for UX in the railway industry? You want to add anything that you, from your experience, that you think we should look ahead?
So really, I think according to what was said, that, in my opinion, user experience has a place in nearly every system that has human interaction. Okay, because if it gives benefit to the human interaction, this is what we need. Of course, in some cases, we are speaking of very simple human interaction with very complex background, let's say, safety, okay? But in the reality, this human interaction is there. And so why not this UX there? So every system, I would say, has this possibility.
Okay. So, George, this was my last question. I don't know, Andre, if you want to jump in and add something.
No, you are doing great, Natalie. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so move on to João.
Yeah, right here. Okay, so right now, I guess it's time for the audience. If you have any type of question that it may occur during the talk that Natalie, Andre, and George had, please feel free to drop the questions now. We are going to answer them now, and if you have them on demand after this event go live, you can also drop the questions on the comment section of this video, and me, Natalie, George, and even Andre can answer the questions whenever we see those questions. But yeah, in the meantime, if someone has any question now, feel free to drop them. But I will ask you one question, George, that I have here for you. I don't know if you're ready, but I'll
not difficult.
I pay close attention to what you have said during this talk. And you said that in your experience, you've worked in other countries, worked in the railway industry in other countries. You mentioned Ireland. I don't know if it was Finland too.
We have not worked until now.
Yeah. Okay,
in Denmark, Norway, even, and yeah.
Okay, so I'm not making an assumption. I'm assuming right now that you work and you have said so. And by your experience, by working on the railway industry in other countries, what have you learned from the user experience practice that they do, and how has that influenced your work today?
So I would say that I didn't find a very significant difference on those countries that I mentioned on this type of customers from, for instance, from Portugal. I don't know if you are trying to compare with Portugal, but if even looking, we worked a long time in Ireland, we worked a long time in Denmark, in Norway, but also in Portugal, I would say is similar from this aspect point, user experience. The way people on light rail operators here or there are working is similar. One aspect may help that, because in some cases the operators are the same, because we can be working in Norway and have a French operator, or working in Portugal and have the same French operator here, eventually, of course, with the different teams, but having the same operators. In Ireland can be the same. So I would say is similar. Okay, there are other aspects that are different, but from the user experience point of view, let's say, I would say no.
Okay, so but there are insights to take from what they do, right?
Yes, there are insights, particularly on the aspect that in some countries, they are more focused than in others. But this has to do with the type of, let's say, of culture that is in the different countries. And of course, we have to adapt to this. Clearly, some move a little faster than others. Okay,
Sure.
clearly, and we try to move. But the difference is not huge. I would say, particularly, for instance, in the light rail, let's say, environment, where are most of our customers, I think that inclusive there are an objective of trying to be on the same level because they meet very frequently between each other. They have some, let's say, some organizations like YTP where they meet, where they discuss, where they share their experience, trying to be on identical level. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sure. So,
Okay.
thanks.
I just have one more question to add. Actually, to add from your question,
Okay.
uh, George, you talked about the different cultures, and I was thinking during the project, uh, this is a very technical content, very specific content. Um, from your knowledge, from your experience, and we try to do the work of even if it's a very technical product, try to use a simple language as possible to make it clear of what would be the task or the activity that I need to do on that specific part of the application. Uh, do you think that from country to in different countries, this language or this technical dialect, I don't know if there is a correct expression, it's too different from country to country, or they have a standard that they follow, uh, make it easy that communication and to reduce the time uh, from training that is needed.
I would say very honestly, Natalie, and we faced, and you faced, some difficulties in some of our, let's say, dialects. Okay, let's call it like sometimes we speak it seems to be a different language. Okay, and we notice when we try to explain something to someone that is not from the railway business. Okay, and but among, let's say, the users on the railway business of these countries, the language is the same. So
Okay.
I would say we understand each other. When I say to someone in Ireland, I have here a synoptic to do that, he knows exactly what I mean. You remember that I used this word because it was one of the difficult to explain to your team that was not so used to that. But
Yeah.
I can say it in Finland, in Denmark, in Sweden. Of course, they would understand. Okay, it's a common language. Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
So, yeah, without anything to add from you
Yeah,
and
no
Andre, right?
questions.
I think that we can say that it's time to end this high talk today. Thanks, George. Thanks,
Yes,
Andre
Yep.
and
thanks for your
Natalie.
time.
Thanks for your
Yep.
time, for your powerful insights on this topic. And thanks the ones that almost stood by till the end and really got all the insights that you brought them, George. And yeah, for the ones at home, as I asked before, please drop us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be more than happy if you do so. We have plenty more content like this prepared for you. In the meantime, we still have a masterclass to do this month, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you have any type of question, feel free to drop them on the comment section of this video, and we will answer them right away. Um, Thanks. And yeah, let's get a thumbnail photo, and then we'll end this. Okay, so bye. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.